everybody, and welcome to the Real Tarot 1123. This is going to be an impromptu reading of Prince Philip, Giuffre Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell. It's just like, of course, we all know what happened to Giuffre Epstein, etc., and all that stuff. So whatever's out there in the news is what's out there in the news. I'm just going to do a little bit of a reading because there's a lot more going on with regards to this situation. Oh, and before I get any further, to all of our visitors who, if this is the first time you're watching my channel, welcome. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And to all my subscribers and the regulars, you guys know I absolutely appreciate you. Without you all, this channel wouldn't exist. So thank you so much for your feedback, your comments, your kind words. I'm always appreciative of that. So thank you for your support. Another little thing is there's some construction going on the outside of the building, like to the facade of, not construction, they're fixing something. So there's going to be a little bit of a noise. I do apologize. Again, I have no control over these things. I've got my balcony door shut, so hopefully it won't be too loud. So there's always something going on here, right? So the thing is, this particular place that I'm living in right now, it's an apartment, and I live on the topmost floor. It's not a very tall building, it's only like 4 floors. So whatever they're fixing or whatever. So anyhow, just a little background on that. So like I said, there's a lot going on about this. There are a lot of victims who came forward. Oh my God, I can't imagine like how brave those ladies are to have stepped forth, knowing very well the power of the people that they were going against. I mean, come on, right? So kudos to those young girls. They were actually minors, children, right? And of course now they're grown, and how life has changed for them. I mean, I can't comprehend. But there's also a lot of stuff that, I'm sure in hindsight, the parents of those young ladies would be like, this, that, or the other. People who were around them who, I thought there was something weird, but we weren't quite sure. We wouldn't interfere because it's there. There's a lot of that going on. But, I'm not here to be judge and jury. I mean, who in God's world am I to blame anybody? I'm just going to tell you what my observations are. So please take it for what it is. Please know that sexual abuse of any kind, mental, physical, sexual, emotional abuse of any kind, financial abuse, that is controlling somebody through money, that sort of a thing. Abuse of any kind is not acceptable at all. I'll give you a little bit of a scenario that happened. Actually, I have it on my camera, and I'm contemplating, when to actually go and approach the management of that store. So yesterday I was out and about, and I happened to drop by a little store over here that they have, close to my house. I decided to walk it. I got dropped off there. I said I'll do my last minute little odds and ends grocery kind of things for the day, and I'll come home walking. And I'm there, doing my thing, whatever. And all of a sudden I hear, no more than 20-30 feet away from me, loudly inside the store. And this is a pretty decent store, okay? It's a nice fancy store. It's not like a run-of-the-mill grocery store. It's, you could say, almost on par with Central Market in Texas. For those of you who live in Texas, y'all know. So anywho, actually it's better than that. They're a little bit more high-end type of stuff, but they have really good stuff. Anywho, so I heard one fellow use such absolutely horrible, foul language on another fellow, and both of them are employees. So I was listening, and I was like, what the heck's going on there? And there are people shopping, kids, parents, and nobody said anything. This guy is absolutely like yelling and screaming at him and using all kinds of foul language ever on the face of the planet. And clearly the people around understand that language. So I gave it like about 90 seconds, and I walked up to them and I said, there were a group of people standing there. I said, is there a manager here? So the moment you ask for a manager, everybody kind of gets like deer in the headlights kind of a thing. We know how that goes, right? Anywhere, even in the US, you ask for a manager and everybody gets their hackles up. Maybe you're asking to speak to the manager to actually compliment the person and say she did an awesome job, but they never think about that. They always straight away go to the worst case scenario, right? So in this case, it was the worst case scenario. So the fellow who owned up to being, stepped forth as a manager, was the fellow who was using this foul language against this other employee who was clearly his subordinate. Y'all, something got me, y'all. I was like, dude, like, how can you use such language in a place of business when we have parents and families and kids and everybody shopping here? You are showing us the kind of people you are. Why would we want to come and spend our hard-earned money in your store so that your management pays you a salary for your sorry ass foul mouth? Where's the sense in that? Then I asked him, I said, what did this man do so bad, so horrendous, that you had to literally bombard him with such extremely horrible foul language? Like, what did he do? Can you tell me? And so I turned and I looked at this other guy, I mean the victim in this case, and he was like, I can't believe somebody's coming to my defense. I mean, they have it on the security camera. So anyway, and I was very respectful when I spoke to these two, and I said, what happened? Like, what did you do to warrant such behavior or such reaction from him? He's like scratching his head and he's going, no, madam, he was terrified. Because, he's a subordinate. Here you have this hole in the behind manager. Look, this happens all over the world. Even in the US it happens. So let's face it, okay, it's universal. People wear a badge and they have power, and all of a sudden they can think, they can tell anybody off with your head or whatever. It's a power struggle. Anyway, so this went on, and nobody was telling me what was going to happen, what really transpired, what did this man do so horrible that warranted this foul language. Finally, I looked at that guy, the victim. I said, look, man, stand up for yourself, okay? If you made a mistake, accept you made a mistake, but it does not call for you to be abused. And if you're worried you're going to lose a job, let me ask you this question. Would you rather be hired in a company where they treat you like a piece of crap, or rather take your chances and quit and find a better job? Because your karma is going to find you a better job. But if you're accepting of this behavior, then for the rest of your life you'll be stuck in this situation, being a subordinate and having all kinds of holes in the behind, call you rotten language. This is in your hand. That guy had tears in his eyes. He says, madam, I never thought about this. No wonder for the past 5 years I'm stuck in this job, and every day I get treated so poorly. No matter what I do or how hard I try, I get treated poorly. I said, because you have accepted your situation. So the universe is saying, hey, John Doe, you're comfortable, so we'll leave you alone. And so this guy, this manager fellow, is kind of looking at me like you could tell in his eyes, he wasn't sure like how to react to me or what to say or whatever. Because I had my mask on, and I stepped back and I took off my mask. I said, I speak 8 languages, buddy, okay? So you can talk to me in any language you want, and I will still be able to understand you and respond and have absolutely decent conversation with you, right? Without any hesitations or at a loss for words. Go on. I mean, are you comfortable speaking any other language? Go ahead and explain to me what those words meant. I know what those words meant. Because he was like, no, madam, those are not really bad words. I'm like, excuse you? Those are not bad words. Shoot, sorry. Okay, they're right above on the terrace. So I was like, what the hell? And I told him, I said, dude, like, he's like, sorry, madam. I said, don't apologize to me, man. Apologize to this fellow. So then what happened, I took down his name and I took a picture of both of them. Of course, they have the security cameras, and of course everybody has started scattering. And I did my stuff and I checked out, and as I was walking out, the victim, he came running after me. Y'all, I was blown away. It is in the security camera, okay? It's like a grocery store in like a mall type of thing, but it's like, and then so they have the mall security cameras and the grocery store cameras. So he came running after me and he held my hands. He held both my hands and he had tears in his eyes, and I was like, oh my God, what did you do, Kirtana? Because I was carrying bags. I said, I'm going to walk home. It's not that far. And those bags were heavy. I was like, oh, whatever. And then he's like, thank you so much, madam. I never expected anybody to come and say a kind word to me. And, I don't know what to say. You are absolutely right. For the past 5 years, I have accepted this as my fate and I haven't taken action. I'm now going to take action. I said, buddy, here's your thing. You will find a better job way better than this. Stand up for yourself. So the premise of telling you that this happened yesterday, okay, is because victimization, abuse of any kind is not acceptable. I don't care what degree, I don't care, oh, just once in a while, No, nothing, no, it's not acceptable. I don't care. Abuse within families happen, parents, children, vice versa, everything. It's not acceptable. I myself at times struggle with it, and I struggle with it in the sense of struggle in how I handle it, because I look at things from a different perspective. First and foremost, I try to understand what the situation. I don't right off the bat go boom like that. I don't, because you have to take into account what exactly is happening. And by that, I'm not saying I'm condoning their behavior. You can't just butt in and go off and do whatever, right? Whether it's in your own environment or a outside environment, you have to first understand the situation. If a person is consistently being abusive of you, there are two things that speaks about that person. First and foremost, a bully is a bully. We know that. They have absolutely no self-esteem. So all of you people who come off as being bullies and aggressive and on here, I'm going to call your number right now. I'm calling your bluff. You're nothing but a sad individual who has absolutely no self-respect and no self-esteem, and you are really a scaredy cat. Truly you are. There is no doubting that. Okay, and one day you may get away with it for 30 years, you may get away with it for 40 years, but all this stuff is going to come back and bite you in the behind, as we've seen. Like a lot of times people come and ask me when I do readings, they go, well, Kirtana, this abuse has been going on so long, when is it going to stop? And I always tell them, it will stop the day you decide to stop it and you take charge and you stop it. I cannot tell you, oh, the astrology says this day, and yes, well, or the tarot says this day. No, when do you want it to stop? You want it to stop yesterday? Go make it stop yesterday. You want it to stop this minute? You have the power to make it stop this minute. It is in your hands. Okay? But one more thing I will tell you from the other end, talking about bullies and these abusive people and all that stuff, it comes from a lot of places. Insecurities, low self-esteem, just the way, the environment they were exposed to, whether they have, if that's all they knew growing up in the formative years of their childhood when their brains are still developing, so they don't know. There could be any number of things, right? Psychological, whatever. That's a whole different ballgame. But for victims, why didn't you come forth? This happened 20 years ago. Why are you coming forth now? Well, we can ask that question any number of times, but we don't know what the victim is going through emotionally and mentally, right? What they had to go through. For them, now is the right time. So, having said all of this, I have to give kudos to all these young ladies, of course, these ladies who at that time were minors, children, who endured all that and who have finally stepped forth to take action. Now, what I'm about to say, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack, but bring it. There are a couple, I'm not going to mention the names of these particular ladies' parents, okay, who are victims of Giuffre, Epstein and whoever. I hold the parents responsible to a certain degree. How can you, as a parent, okay, go drop your 13, 14-year-old child off at some fancy house just because the house is fancy, it's in the posh end of town and it's got these big fancy gates, go in and just drop your kids off and walk away? How the heck do you do that? How do you do that? Like, what makes it, I'm going to use these really strong words. Those parents are really stupid as stupid can be to think that a stranger is going to care for your child as much as you care for your child, that a complete stranger is going to secure your child and not do any harm to your child. That's dumb, blind, stupid faith and real stupidity. And you cannot fix stupid. So those parents, I'm calling your bluff. You are the ones who are responsible for what happened to your daughter's lives. So the first most primary abuser in that case is the parents. There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sticking to. Because you parents, you let your kids, it's not like I went and left my daughter there just one time and all this happened. No, you repeatedly left your daughter there in the care of some dumb person just because they have money and have a fancy house and they claim to be who they are. Really? How could you, like how? So, anyhow, that's, like I said, it's people are probably going to come at me for that, and I'm like, bring it, man. I mean, I ain't going to change my opinions just because this is how I see it. Take it or leave it. You don't like it, walk on by, honey, right? So So let's go. Let's just do a first one for, what's his face's name? Philip? Prince Philip, right? Oh my God, okay. Now another thing, with regards to Prince Philip. He was married to, what's her face's name? Sarah Ferguson, forever and a day. I will never, okay, let's set aside Philip. I will never for a moment buy into the fact that she had absolutely no inkling that philandering Philip was up to no good. Come on. Somewhere somebody must have said something and she must have got something. I am going to come out and say this. All you people who are in England or anywhere in the world who are fans of Philip and his wife, you know, I'm just going to call it. I am not for one moment going to believe that Sarah Ferguson and Philip divorced because of whatever other reasons they put out in the media. I think it is this. She knew, she had an inkling, she fought it the best she could, she couldn't deal with it, and finally she said, screw it, I'm out of here. That is the reason why they divorced. Okay? The sad part is, and Sarah Ferguson, if you're watching me, this is my opinion. You have your opinions, I have my opinions, and it is what it is, and it's a good life. There's enough space for all of us in this universe. You should have stepped forth, and you didn't, because you were afraid of the power that family has. Now, I did not walk in your shoes, thankfully so. I'm very blessed that I didn't walk in your shoes. So I really don't know what's going on behind over there. Don't know what trauma she went through. We have to consider that too. But here's the thing, y'all. This is the downside, right? This is human nature. All of us, you know, we have our aspirations of marrying up and, you know, marrying somebody who's stable and who has this and who has that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? We all want good things in life. That's human nature, right? Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line between your self-respect, your awareness of right and wrong, your principles and your ethics and greed? Where do you draw the line? How many cases have we seen where these people marry all these rich guys and they just look the other way when these guys are doing all this nonsense? Where do you draw the line? So that, in and unto itself, speaks of their own character, right? These so-called enablers, the silent enablers, the active enablers. So it speaks of your own character. Don't sit and tell me that you knew what was going on, but you didn't care. Like, why didn't you care? Oh, I didn't know. Well, you lived with the guy, you were married to the guy for X number of years, you slept in the same bed, you ate the same food, you went out together, you had sex with the guy, and you're telling me you had no idea? Absolutely no idea. Absolutely. Come on. No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. You may not have known right off the bat, but they were definitely flags, red flags, and you knew, and you just, you know, maybe you went through the whole process of, do I really want to take action? You must have weighed your pros and cons. You spoke to your parents, and your parents said, look, you're married to a prince. You decide what you want to do. Do you want to take them head on? You know it's a losing battle because it's the crown, right? The royal family. Or you just, you know, find a cockamamie excuse and leave him and go and let him deal with this stuff. You know, I don't think, I can confidently say Miss Sarah Ferguson really doesn't give all this thing about, oh, he's the love of my life and I married a prince and I still love him and someday we hope to get together. I don't buy that. Not for one moment. So, having said that, my question is, what is the name of the young lady who has now filed a civil suit about on Philip? Here, not even sitting properly. I don't know what her name is. I mean, I know, but not from the top of my head. What is going to happen with regards to that case? There is going to be a settlement. You know, let me really quick look for her name, y'all, because I need to know her name. Give me 1 second, right? Who has filed a case against Prince Let me see, give me 1 second. No, not Prince Philip. What's his name? Oh my God, what the hey, Prince Philip. Okay, here. Prince Andrew. Why am I saying Prince Philip? What is his name? Prince Andrew's friendship with Epstein. There we go. Andrew, right? I'm sorry. See, I can't even get the names right. Good Lord. I'm losing my mind, y'all. Prince. Of course, I'm going to get a whole lot of flack for that. Yeah, what is her name? What is this lady? Virginia Giuffre. Okay. All right, y'all. Before. What the hey? What am I doing here? Stop. Okay. Y'all, I apologize. I was trying to find Virginia Giuffre's name. I hope I'm saying it right, and I couldn't. And I apologize. I stand corrected. I said Prince Philip. So please don't come at me because my brains are muddled as usual. It's Andrew, right? He's a guy who's yeah. Charles, Andrew, and Edward. It's Andrew, not Prince Philip. Not Prince Philip. Please don't come at me. I sincerely apologize. That was my mistake. I don't know why I was thinking Philip, but I will tell you this though. With regards to Prince Philip, he had a vague feeling about his son. He knew what his son was up to. I guarantee that. He never liked him. And unfortunately that, whatever the thing is go on behind the closed doors of that family, he was forced to keep his mouth shut. He really never cared for this particular son, Andrew. So one more time, it's not Prince Philip who was a molester in the case I'm talking about. It is Prince Andrew. That was a mistake I made. I stand corrected. I sincerely apologize. So moving on, it is Andrew. Okay, and I wanted to recollect Virginia Giuffre's name. I hope I'm saying it correctly. I hope. Is she going to win this civil suit? Is she going to win this civil suit? 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 2 aces. Got 2 aces. Another ace. Oh, it's going to be a battle though. A lot of sidestepping. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, she will win this case. But there's going to be a lot of sidestepping, a lot of, doing the 2-step and the dance and the waltz and all between this attorney, that attorney. They are going to do their very best in throwing all kinds of books and the privilege of the royal family being exempt from whatever, the legalities are that you can't have a case against them or whatever. They are going to drag it out so far in the hopes that Virginia Giuffre and the others like her, they kind of just get tired and walk away. But let me tell you about Virginia Giuffre. You be very careful about yourself here, Virginia. You need to take care of yourself, and I do not know how you're doing this, and God, girl, kudos to you. I pray for you. I'm sending positive energy towards you, and I am some person sitting in one end of the world and you are somewhere else, so you will probably never watch this, but please know that there is somebody in this universe who's genuinely rooting for you, who's genuinely praying for you, and genuinely hoping you win this case, because you are going to be a figure who is going to change how society deals with empowered people. And how, by changing those powerful people, you are going to empower the rest of the world. So Virginia, I'm praying for you. Know that. So, but she really has to take care of herself, because I am very concerned, for her health. Forget her mental health, she's very strong, but her physical health, I wouldn't be surprised if she's got some health issues. She really needs to take care of her health, and of course she has to be really, really careful, because you never know, how they bump people off. And look, when they got Giuffre out, you think they can't get to Virginia? Seriously? Really? So she has to be really, really careful. Okay? And I want to get a timeline as to when that case is going to be. They are going to make an attempt to settle with her out of court, like a civil court, like a civil out of court settlement. They're going to try. But here's the situation, y'all. Here's what I'm going to say. So all of you people who are in England and who know the laws of the state and the crown, etc., let me know. It's a funny thing, but your current prime minister is actually supporting Andrew, because he has got a call saying that do what I tell you to do. So the only person, if at all there is anybody in the palace, in the royal family, who has the power to kick Andrew out of the whole system, is going to be Prince Charles. But here's the thing, by the time Prince Charles takes action, the crown would most likely have passed to his son. So then I'm going to say, ultimately, the one person who really has the power, who has it in his fate, who has it in his karma to make substantial changes to the royal family, is going to be Charles's son, William. Okay? They are going to try their very best to kind of distance themselves from Andrew. But because of the legalities, they're going to pull out some rules and regulations that were written in 1300s or 1400s, and they're going to hold that in court and say, you look at this, you can't do this, 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 and this. The Parliament House is also going to pull out all stops to ensure this doesn't go into trial, because it's going to be like unprecedented. So Virginia Giuffre, I mean, this girl is just unbelievable going up against that kind of powerful people. Hats off to her. So even a small victory is a big victory, because, I mean, come on. So they're going to try and drag it out as much as possible. She's not going to give up though. She's like a dog with a bone. She's like, F this shit. Sorry, pardon the language. I'm in altogether. I'm like totally committed. I'm sorry, now my camera is stuck with that beautiful face of mine. Sorry, you guys. So she is like, I'm in. I'm totally invested. I'm going for the gold. That's it. So, but it's going to take a little bit of a time. Let's figure out. And Virginia is not doing it for the money at all. She's not. She is not doing it for the money. She's not going after this fool for the money. For her, it's completely different. It's more it's a karmic thing. Andrew didn't just have entanglements with Giuffre and through him all these girls. Andrew has always been a little like this. He's had sexual relations with minors in the past, other minors as well. Yeah. Okay, so my camera, of course, is kind of whatever. So I have, let me see, I have pulled 5 cards, flock of clouds, then birds exchanging of funds and sharing a partnership, shop talk and benching shop talk and table talk and negotiating, the devil card. Then the idea of gossip or loving gossip or creating a ruckus, creating salacious gossip, it's always there. So there is a lot of chatter about this, 10, 20, 28, 28, 28, 2 years, 24 months, make 2 years, right? 2 years and 4 months, I think there will finally be something presented in court where you can say, okay, they're going to move forward. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of whatever, a lot of nonsense. Of course, this is a very high profile case. Everybody's talking about it, and people are like, okay, fine, what can we do? We'll just have to wait and see type of thing. They have definitely tried to give her money and try to buy her out. They are definitely going to keep trying. They're going to try bribing the judges, the attorneys, whoever. They're definitely going to do all of that. There's a lot of negotiating going on. Oh my God, unbelievable amount of negotiations going on, because they do not want this to go into a full-on trial, simply because of how it is going to affect the people of England, how it's going to affect the crown, the future of the crown, future of the royal family. And can you imagine, camera, can you come back? I think they've had enough of this frozen image of mine. Camera, can you come back live, please? Okay. So my camera has a mind of its own. So there's a lot of negotiations. I mean, the highest level, real. There's so much going on. And then you have the devil card, of course. The devil card is like clearly Capricornian energy. Saturn is like, Andrew is not going through a good time. Seriously, he's not. He is like, I'm sure, you know, I mean, did you all see his interview? I mean, any person could say, dude, you're freaking lying through your eyeballs, man. Like, what the heck? Just fess up and say, I made a mistake and move on. I guarantee people would have, you know, not been so harsh. I don't know whether they would have forgiven him, but they would have said, at least he's a stand-up guy. He accepted his mistakes and he's making amends and moving on. That would have, of course, but it's an ego thing. Oh, I didn't do any wrong. I mean, like, oh my God. I was so mad when I saw that interview. I was like, I want to take off my shoe and throw it at his face. Of course, I wouldn't do that because I would probably knock my TV out. But I was like, dude, I mean, like, what the heck? Like, look at your ugliness. I mean, the whole world knows you're so ugly inside and out. Like, what the hell? So anywho, so Saturn is tightening his grasp on Andrew, and it's not going to bode very well for Andrew. It's not. It's going to push him in two directions. He's probably going to end up having a heart attack and he's going to keel over and die. I don't know how old he is right now, but that's either, I don't see him committing suicide or anything like that. It's not. Or he's just going to completely fade away and go sit somewhere and ultimately walk around, you know, wearing tweeds and whatever, you know, in some place somewhere. You know what I mean. But I have a feeling that this could lead to his death a little sooner, because the toll it's taking. He is not going to commit suicide, nothing like that. And then all this thing about, you know, thoughts of love and loving, oh, my ex-wife Sarah Ferguson still loves me, my children love me, the royal family, my other brothers and everybody, and nieces and nephews, my sister and everybody, they support me, and you know, I'm still a welcome member of the royal family, nothing's changed, everybody looks at me the same way. That's a whole bunch of crap. It has this more than Meghan Markle and Henry has affected the royal family, like more, like seriously more. Okay, so Prince Philip didn't much care for this fellow. Prince Philip has sat this fool down and had numerous conversations with him and saying, can you tone it down? Can you keep it in your pants and keep your pants zipped? Like, this is going to get you into trouble. This is going to get you into trouble. This is going to get you into trouble. But he never listened to his father. So his father is very, very disappointed with this fool. Absolutely disappointed with this fool. His father never liked him. People say, oh, Philip wasn't too fond of Charles. But I'll tell you this, Philip maybe in the beginning wasn't too fond of Charles. He was all about, you know, mothers and sons, fathers and daughters. But subsequently, he is like, this Andrew fool is like, they've had a serious conversations, serious exchange of words, like almost coming to blows type of thing, because Philip is like, you know, and the Queen knows Andrew is 100% wrong. The Queen absolutely knows it. She knows it, she acknowledges it, but you know, she's in a situation where, like, I don't know why she isn't doing what she isn't doing. It's just, we would think, oh, it would be easy to have that kind of power and say, dude, like, lock him up or throw away the key or put him in the dungeon or the Tower of London or whatever, but who knows, you know, what's going on. Oh, thank you, camera, you showed up. Okay. What is that? I have something on my glasses. So 28 months is when from now something is going to happen in the courts and the case is going to progress to the next step, okay? Oh. Yeah, there is going to be an unexpected windfall. Yeah. So there is going to be good news that's going to come forward. And by the way, y'all, it's not just young girls who are molested by this Jeffrey Epstein and Philip and his cohorts, Clinton and whoever else. Young boys were also in this dragnet. Just so you know, it's not just girls, but they kept that separate. There are a lot of doubts and worries that this portfolio of clients is still being maintained, and this is still being worked at, even though Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and even though Ghislaine Maxwell is behind bars, there is somebody else who is still running this on the quiet and low. This ring has not been eliminated. This particular group, for lack of a better term, has not been eliminated. I have not stopped with their shenanigans. There is going to be an unexpected windfall and a plan, because there is a young boy also who's going to step forth, at least he was a young boy at that time, and say, this happened to me too. And for some bizarre reason, they are going to take that seriously, because that young boy is going to point his finger at Andrew. And he has a little bit more proof that is undeniable. He has on numerous occasions had sex with Andrew. Take it or leave it. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Now, let's ask about Jeffrey Epstein. As we all know, Jeffrey Epstein did not commit suicide. Clearly, that is bah humbug. Anybody with half a brain can tell you he did not commit suicide. He was bumped off. And what is the name of that Attorney General Barr? That guy is a bigger scoundrel than anybody else. I don't care what anybody says. He is just like, oh yeah, I'm an attorney general, I'll go and fix it. And if I go in and put my seal, then everybody will keep quiet and accept it. And I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to say, oh no, this is a suicide, and oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. I mean, shut your mouth, keep your mouth shut. Okay, Barr, you are a bigger criminal than all these people put together. You know exactly what is going on. You know exactly who bumped him off. You know exactly who is involved. But you want to hide behind it. Oh, holier than thou crap. Hush. Seriously, Barr my behind. Oh, yeah. Okay, was Epstein murdered, right? Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, yes. The first one was a single yes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yes. Four attempts were made, y'all, on his life. 4 attempts. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Absolutely, he was bumped off. It was not suicide at all. I don't care. Well, like I said, anybody with half a brain will tell you it was murder, nothing. 4 attempts were made on his life. 4 attempts. Couple of things I'm going to also tell you. I think I should pull a card for it. Where's my? Where'd you go? Philip's troubles have just started. I'm not Philip. Dang it, why do I keep saying Philip? Maybe Prince Philip wants to come forward and say something. I don't know. Why am I going on and on about him? Andrew. Ding dong Andrew. What was a nickname that the British people have for Andrew? Randy Andy, correct? Isn't that what it is? Randy Andy? Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying Prince Philip. I don't know why. Maybe he's coming forth and he's like, he did not like this fellow. True, in the beginning, Philip was hard on Charles. He was like, Charles is not capable of being the King of England. he had those doubts about Charles, because Charles was actually a little bit afraid of his father, and he was like, as a child growing up, he was in his father's shadows. He was very, 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 very intimidated by his dad. Very intimidated. So he always felt that he could never please his father, and Prince Philip felt that he fell short, like Charles fell short. But way back when Andy was probably in his early 20s, when little bit of news, news floats around, right? That he's been doing this with underage. Way back then, even he was into all this underage stuff, and Prince Philip must, as a parent, they'll get over it, whatever. But I think when Andrew was in his mid-30s, was when something transpired, and it was like right in their face, and that's when Prince Philip sat him down and said, you need to fix yourself, you cannot behave in such a manner, it is not right. And basically that's when their relationship kind of fell apart. They almost came to blows, y'all. They almost came to blows. I'm telling you, I'm seeing that. Okay, and that's when Prince Philip said, they knew way back when. Andy, that's his name, right? Yeah, he swings both ways, y'all. He swings both ways. There's a gentleman who's going to come forth who was a young boy at that time, who's got more evidence and better, more concrete, presentable proof in court, proof that can be presented in court, undeniable proof that he was also molested by this fool, and not just, it wasn't a one-time thing, it was repeatedly. Oh, Andrew, I can literally feel Saturn reaching and grabbing his nutsacks and tightening. That's an image to paint, right? But I'm telling you, Saturn's not done with him. Saturn's just gotten started, and Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, all these guys get together, and I want to look at his chart. I'm sure I'll find his date of birth and time of birth and place of birth somewhere. But what I need to see. Fire, baby, fire, burn, burn, burn. Okay. So I got, let me show you the cards. Okay, I'm just curious to know. Okay, let's take it from the top, right? So we have Taurus, okay? And Taurus is ruled by Venus, it's an earth sign. Then we have fire, of course, it's, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Really? We didn't know that? And then we have the water sign, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Then we have Pluto. Pluto rules Scorpio. Then we have Neptune, okay? And Neptune rules Pisces, again a water sign. Then we have Sagittarius. Guess what? Sagittarius is a fire sign. Then we have the Moon. Moon rules Cancer, which is a water sign, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So let's figure this out. Okay, so with the Taurus energy being so strong here, and Venus and being an earthy sign, and Taurus is basically like, we have all the elements, earth, wind and fire, right? Wait, earth, wind, water and fire, we have all the elements. Oh, his time is coming up, y'all. Give me 1 second. 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, 90, 100, okay, 100, 106, 106, 110, 113, 117, 18, 19, 20, 129, 129. I gotta do the math. 129 is a 9, 10, 12. 12 is equal to 3. Yeah. number being so prominent now. They're telling me 3 people, it's not Virginia Giuffre alone, that the other young boy and one more person is going to come through and point fingers at Randy Andy. One more person. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, hang on, you guys. Okay, I'm losing, wait, stop, hang on. Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all. One more person is going to step forward, and that person is going to be a family member. Deal with it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So they're going. That is what is going to cause all the battles and setbacks. All that friends and happiness and surrounded by loved ones is gone. It's going to be executioner, criminal, wrath, and you know, it's going to be like a male rival. So another male member of the royal family is going to come forth and point fingers at this fool Randy Andy. And it's like, dude, now you are in the forest, you have bramble, you have all that stuff, and it's all that pokey stuff, and you cannot get out of this, because it's not just Virginia Giuffre anymore. It is that other young boy who's a civilian, and then there's going to be a family member of the royal family, could be immediate or extended family, who's going to come forth. Oi, and it's going to be like, it's like the company is going to come forth. So the company, in this case, I would say it's a male member though. The male member and company. This company is obviously the royal family, and they're going to have information about all this flirtatious pillow talk, all this going on back and forth, and you know, ha ha hoo hoo, we're going to a nightclub, you're doing this. They're talking about Monaco. I wonder if the Monaco royal family, what's his face's name? The current king of Monaco, Stefan, I think. I wonder if he has something to do with this. And the whole thing, the cemetery ruined in church, that is going to be the complete undoing of Randy Andy. And you know what? Serves a sorry ass right. There, I said a bad word. But serves a sorry behind right. Okay, so let's take this. 3 people. So, and that is going to give Virginia Giuffre's case a little bit more of a push, because it is so unfortunate. It shouldn't be like that, because now, even now, people are doubting her credibility, right? They're saying, oh, well, how do we know, whatever. But that, I feel, is almost going to be like, aha, look, okay, fine, now we believe you, Virginia. I mean, there are a lot of people who believe her. Of course, it's a fact. She's got evidence. I mean, nobody is refuting that. But, you know, there are always some people who believe in this idealistic thing. Oh, he's a prince. He can't do anything wrong. But listen, before he became a prince, he's first a human being, capable of nefarious activities, capable of crimes, capable of rape, murder, pilferage, thieving, criminal activities, and then he's a prince. So he, I won't even, can't, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go back this doofus. So with Taurus, Randy Andy, rightfully so, he's called Randy Andy. He's a sex fiend, okay? He enjoys sex. He absolutely enjoys sex. There's one part of him though, which is weird, okay? When he comes across in the public, or when he's meeting people and all, he always wants to put on this image of like, a little bit of hesitation, you know. It's like, I'm not going to, like if somebody shakes hand or brushes against him, ooh, that's loud, sorry y'all. Somebody shakes hands with him or brushes against him, let's say in a fancy setting, he'll be like, oh, and then the lady will be like, oh, well, sorry. He almost comes across as being like, ooh, don't touch me, don't. But behind closed doors, he's a completely different level of sexual whatever. Like he's in a completely different level. It's like so weird. And why does he have to be like that? There's no, if you enjoy sex, I'm not saying go out and tell the whole world every day in the morning, release a statement in the paper saying, oh, I enjoy sex, I'm Prince Andrew. No, but it's almost like twin personality. It's almost like he's putting up a facade. Yeah, I do understand with the royal family, there's a decorum of protocol and how you behave and all that stuff, but it's almost like, oh, touch me not. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. And you know what? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. the YouTube world. Are you ready to hear what I have to say? This is TMI. I'm giving you a heads up. If you don't like what I'm about to say, please click off and go watch something else. This is a channel. This video is specifically made for adults. It's not for children. Randy Andy has a name for his little appendage. And it's a running joke with all the people who he has had sexual relations with. He actually has a bizarre relationship with his third leg. There, I said it. I'm sure a lot of y'all are probably like falling off your seats laughing, and I'm trying to keep a straight face here, but he actually has a name for that. He has had a unhealthy, opinioned relationship attitude towards his third leg ever since he were a child. There's a bizarre mental thingamajiggy going on there. He actually has a name for it. He has conversations. It's a weird thing. Oh my goodness, and why do I need to see this? Like, why do I care? Like, why are you showing me this? That is going to be the crucial bit of information that family member is going to put out there. And then people are going to go back and everybody's going to talk, and that's how they'll be like, how would you know? Well, I know because I was witness to it on numerous occasions. Okay? He has a bizarre relationship with his wee-wee. And he has conversations with his wee-wees. I know I'm talking a lot about this. He will stand there, he will hold himself in his hands, and he'll have conversations with his wee-wee like it's like another individual. It's a bizarre, psychological, crazy thing. Crazy. He has had a lot of urinary tract infections. He has had a lot of UTI infections. I don't care what anybody says. Of course, that's privileged information with his doctors. No doctor is going to step forth and say, yeah, Prince Andrew, I can vouch for it. Well, I'm just telling you what I see, so deal with it. Okay? And then moving on, we have Aquarius. Now, what is Aquarius? Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is saying, remember I said I can see Saturn reach him and hold him and compress his gonads, whatever you call it, his family jewels. And Saturn is tightening. So Saturn is kind of like the focus is on that particular area of his body for some reason. And then you have water. He has prostate issues. He has had urinary tract issues. He has had issues where he's actually, okay, this is TMI, okay, my guides. He has had issues where he is dribbled a bit. He has had these issues with his nether yaya, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to be very, trying to use, like, I can't say classy words, but I'm trying to keep it polished. You all know exactly what part of the body I'm talking about, so let's not get into it. Then we have Pluto. Now, Pluto is about Scorpio, right? And Pluto is right under Taurus. I'm sorry for the noise. I'm just going to go on with this video. I'm not going to stop because I wanted to do this. So Pluto is right under Taurus, right? So Pluto is about regeneration. So he has always wished, now I'm not talking about the size of his appendage, I'm not getting into that, but he's always wished that his third leg was like this or like that or like this or like that. He's always had conversations like that. And there have been times in his life where he just couldn't rile himself up to have sex, right? You know what I'm saying. So he has struggled with that, and then it's flipped him out, it's freaked him out, because for some reason he has felt that he identifies with that part of his body to be him. This is bizarre, y'all. This fellow is a freaking crazy guy. I mean, he's just, okay, so he's had issues like that. He has not, like, people close to him, of course, it's all guarded, well guarded secrets. How dare, like, you know, they're so protected. They provided him with alternative medicine, you know, herbal medicines, whatever, because he's so into that. I don't know why he's all about his appendage. going so far as to go to, get some weird stuff from China, from here, from there, and all under the pretext of nature and herb and all that stuff. He really doesn't, he's not like Charles. See, Charles is all about, organic and this and that. I mean, Charles was always interested in that sort of stuff. So from the very beginning that he was interested in it, he's done a lot also as far as that is concerned. We all know that. This guy Andrew is not like that, but he's just doing it because, okay, fine, let's give it a shot. Let's see it. I'm not going to say he went to witch doctors, but things have been procured for him from crazy sources, and he's given it a shot. And he doesn't need to do all that. Like, if he just let himself be and just accepted his third leg to be whatever it was and normal, he's like any other normal guy. But I don't know, he has this fixation about that. Okay, and then we have Neptune, enough of that. And then we have Neptune. So Neptune rules Pisces, right? Again, and Neptune is all about confusions, illusions, and dreams, etc. So he's so into that part of his body that he's I don't know, he has weird dreams. He's had illusions. He's had confusions. He has tried to figure it out, but he has not been able to, and he has never discussed these things with anybody else for fear of being judged. Okay, but Sarah Ferguson kind of has been witness to certain funny, odd situations, and she's almost fallen off laughing, and they made a big joke about it. And then, you know how it is, right? At paint a scenario, he's in the bathroom doing whatever, she opens the door, she comes in, and here he's having a conversation with this Vivi, and she busts out laughing, and he turns around, he's ashamed as hell, and he busts out laughing, ha ha ha, that was a joke, and oh, okay, fine, and move on. But Sarah Ferguson has been witness to, I'm sorry, Miss Sarah Ferguson, this is whatever, but hey, you know what, I'm not sorry, take that. So, I'm telling you what I see. Then we have Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius is all about action, right? Sagittarius is like, let's go first, let's do, let's take action. It's a fiery, feisty energy. It's like, go forth. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is all about philosophy and the ninth house, etc. Now the ninth house is also, okay, distant travel, father figure, higher education, intellect. So whenever Andrew wanted to do all this nonsense, he would do it outside of his country, because it wouldn't be so glaringly obvious. Like, you are going to Monaco for something, and Monaco is popping up. I'm sure he has visited Monaco many a times. There's some connection there, it'll come sometime. So with whatever that fellow's name is, the king or prince of Monaco at the moment. Is he prince or is he king? I think he's king because his father died, right? Okay, so there's some connection there. What was I saying? So he would go do this outside. He would do this on his travels, so as to, because you can get away with a lot when you travel as opposed to when you're sitting inside the house, right? It's like, oh, so-and-so is coming to meet me, or so-and-so is coming to meet me, and you know how that works, right? So he's done that. Now, I will tell you, his father, Prince Philip, for the longest time was very, 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 very adamant, and has had conversations with his wife, Queen Elizabeth, saying we should restrict Andrew and keep him home and not let him travel for a little bit. They have had serious conversations, like shouting yet. I mean, of course, you know, we will yell and scream and all that, but of course, who will get people to the royal family? Maybe they have blow-ups, and they're not always going to be mummy, you know, they're not going to be like that. And then, of course, they're not going to yell at the queen and say, but, you know, we know tempers could be raised, voices could be raised, that's what I mean. So they've had serious conversations like that. You know who knows the truth? Who knows all of this? And who knew from the very beginning that Andrew was a little off? Queen Elizabeth's sister who passed, and then her daughter. You actually look at it, the daughter doesn't really, you guys who live in England, tell me, the daughter, Andrew's sister doesn't really care for him very much. She really doesn't. So, moving on. So he did a lot of this outside of the country, so that he felt that under the pretext of traveling overseas, he can do all this and get away with it. Now, I will tell you, Prince Philip was like, tried very hard to keep him and restrict him and not let him travel outside, because he felt that if you keep him close, you know, he'll at least stop with this nonsense. But of course, that was a losing battle. And then we have the moon card. The moon card, of course, you know, the moon rules Cancer, and Cancer is a water sign, and the other water signs are Pisces and Scorpio, and here Pluto and Neptune have shown up, which is Scorpio is Pluto, and Neptune rules Pisces. So there's a lot of emotional thingy going on, a lot of stuff to do with this. Now, I will tell you one more thing. It's the weirdest, bizarre thing, and they're telling me Andrew likes hydrotherapy. He enjoys hydrotherapy. Bizarre. So crazy bizarre. I'm just sitting here thinking, y'all must be busting out laughing watching these videos, or y'all will all be up in arms and come after me. And I'm sure there'll be some people who have their knickers in a twist after hearing what I have to say. But hey, baby, this is what it is, It's the real tarot. Right, okay, I'm going to start with Philip. There is some connection which is so bizarre between him and the Prince of Monaco or the King of Monaco, whatever his status is right now. I'm not, there is something, but I'm unable to grasp it right now. Maybe this is not the right time for me to talk about this. They will tell me what it is, and then of course, if it calls for another reading, I'll do it. But Jeffrey Epstein. So, as far as Jeffrey Epstein, before I even pull the cards, I'm going to tell you, actually, you know what, I will pull the card. Oh, well, we'll talk. With Jeffrey Epstein, I did say that that ring has not completely been eliminated after Epstein has kicked the bucket. There is somebody else who's still running that ring, but running that business or that franchise, let's call it a franchise, but they're doing it on the slide, okay? Jeffrey Epstein's brother is not as innocent as he's made out to be. I'm going to say it. And whatever his face's name is. Dude, if you want to come after me, have at it, okay? No problem. You can find me, right? No problem. But he's not all innocent as he's made out to be. If you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me Jeffrey Epstein, before he went into jail, he knew his life was in danger, okay? He was very, see, here's what I'm going to tell you about Epstein, okay? Lazy ass piece of poop, but smart. But didn't want to put in the effort to do things normal way and to acquire business and profit and success the normal way. But he's smart. Sex is the oldest trade ever. Sex sells. For him, it was about quick money, quick thinking. Jeffrey Epstein is was a very, very egotistical person. For him, it was all about control. It's all about control. Put two and two together. How best can you control powerful people? What is the easiest way for you to make money? To have an in that powerful circle of 1% of the population, right? How best to control them? Most of these so-called powerful people, men and women, right? Let's not just say it's men only who are abusers. Women as well are willing to pay for sex, right? They needed somebody who understands their social obligations or their social profiles and who's willing to work with them and provide a certain necessary service. Epstein, being smart, connected the dots and he said, no problem. Game. This is what you want. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. There is a need for it. I will supply it. Create a demand for it. Create a market environment for it. Right? You know, under the pretext of, oh, I'm going to make you a model, I'm going to make you this, and they invite all these people for the so-called fake private modeling shows, and then that's how it starts. Oh yeah, she's only 13, she's only 14, she's untouched, yeah, that's the one I want. I'm willing to pay this, and this. Was money really exchanged? Definitely. Were favors granted instead of money? Definitely. How else do you think this fool made all his money? Right? Smart, Jeffrey Epstein, very smart, and I have to give him credit for that. He's freaking brilliant, man. I mean, he's like, I can't blame him for that. He's like, hold on a second, I need insurance for my business. And what is the insurance? I'm going to make a record, I'm going to have my little black book, I'm going to have videotapes and photographs and this and that and everything, because at the end of the day, this is my business. I need to insure my business. I'm high profile right now. I need to save my sorry behind and make sure that I'm safe. So I'm going to do what I need to do like any other businessman and make sure I'm cover CYA. So he maintained his records, he maintained his video clips, he maintained all this dirt and scoop on all these people. That was his security. I don't blame him for that. He's a smart guy, y'all. I mean, he thought outside the box. He figured out there was a need. Okay, there was a demand. He found the supply. He connected the two. He made money. It's as simple as that. Now, granted, it's not a nice way of making money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning it. But you get what I'm saying. Giuffre Epstein was a very, very intelligent fellow, very, very egotistical. For him, it was about power. Now, did he also enjoy having sex with minors? Absolutely. We know how all that went, right? We all know that. So, yes, he was part of that problem. I mean, he is a critical, pivotal individual in that network. He also enjoyed it. But even from a business perspective, let me tell you this, for Giuffre Epstein, this was primarily a business for him, primarily a business. Then secondarily, all his wants and needs and likes, and I want to have sex with like on the pretext of I'm going to go and get a massage by a 13, which 13-year-old is going to give a massage for anybody? I mean, come on. And why didn't that 13-year-old go back home crying to her parents and say, I don't want to go back to the house again, they made me give this man a massage? Anyhow, that's a difficult situation. Anyhow, so also some of the parents have stated, if you go back and read everything, some of the parents, I believe, have stated that they knew that there was some kind of a massage thingamajiggy going on and it was weird or whatever. So as far as he's concerned, primarily business, and then of course he's like, oh, while I'm conducting my business, I can also partake of the goods. So yeah, it works both ways. So cool, let's do it, yo. Okay. And he was smart enough to connect with all these so-called big people, and you know how it goes. It's like, you mean to say all these so-called multi-gazillionaires are not in cahoots with each other? They don't talk to each other? Like you ask Musk, do you know Bezos? He'll be like, I don't know who he is. He's a stranger. I never met him, never spoke to him. Come on. Everybody knows everybody. 6 Degrees of Separation. Go read that book. So, do you think the board wouldn't have got around through the inner channels of communication? That, hey, let's go for this party and hey Jeff, I'm gonna hop on your jet and go to whatever place you got in the Bahamas or whatever the hell. Or do you mind if I tag along a friend of mine? Oh, who's your friend? Oh, my friend is this other multi-gazillionaire. Oh, sure, no problem. Come on, you guys, come on. So that's how the network expanded, and he developed and built his book of business. Okay, he knew, considering the kind of people that he was dealing with, that there would be sometime, somewhere, something going on. So he had his insurance in place. The moment he got his insurance in place in terms of evidence of pictures and videographs and telephone conversations and what have yous, the first thing he did was, again, very smart businessman, you have to give him credit for that. He took all of his assets and put it in some kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Unknown caller.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shoot. Hang on, you guys. Hello?
Hi, hello.
Yes?
Hi, good afternoon, Ms. Reddy.
Huh?
Ms. Reddy, this is Epstein on 3 line.
Yeah?
Yes.
Can I call you back in 10 minutes?
Sure, just want to update you that your PD has been printed here.
Oh.
You can come and collect.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Sure.
Thank you. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That was a very important call I was waiting for, actually. But finally it's through. So tomorrow I gotta go and get. I'm so sorry. That was extremely rude. But Anywho. I apologize, y'all. If I had hung up on her, then it would have been a wild goose chase. Even though I said I'd call you back in 10 minutes, she continued to talk. I was like, just hush and listen, get the job done, because I'm almost at the tail end. Tomorrow if I go and I do whatever, then the deal's done and we're good. So I thank you for your patience and for your accommodations, and I'm now going to turn this phone off. All right, y'all. Okay, so going back to this fellow. So what he did was he took all his assets and formed some kind of a trust or something like that, where, again, very smart individual, right? He understands the legalities of where tomorrow if something goes bad and the whole thing blows up in his face, people can't go after his estate, okay? He brilliant guy. You have to give him credit for that and for his legal team too. And so he tightened up all of his assets, and who had control of it? His brother. Now you're going to sit here and tell me, okay, that his brother had no idea what Giuffre Epstein was doing. His brother never had a conversation with Giuffre Epstein as to why are you giving me all this 500 million or whatever $1 billion or however much funds you had in your trust. How come I'm the only, like, what's going on? Where did you get this money from? How is it, like, what? Come on, you really think he had no clue at all? Like, that's a bunch of baloney. But having said all of that, absolutely Epstein was bumped off. 4 attempts were made on his life. I'm going to say that. It was not a suicide. And there's a lot more evidence corroborating that. But when they did the autopsy, the coroner, whatever the city, whoever does that, and what they actually released to the public such that other doctors could analyze it, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of hidden over there. I'm going to say that, and I'm sticking to that. So, Barr and all these people, yeah, man, I mean, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm going to do, no, shut your mouth, Barr, shut your mouth. So, anywho, that small business group has not dismantled. They're still continuing. Ooh, somebody wants to show up. 10 of cups, baby. Ghislaine Maxwell is next, honey bunches of oats. Ghislaine Maxwell. Your time's coming, chica. Okay, y'all. Okay. Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, she's got to be super, super careful. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you a couple of things. Ghislaine Maxwell may have been, like, at some point in time imagined that she was in love with Jeffrey Epstein and he loved her. Jeffrey Epstein is not capable of the emotion love. He's not capable of loving somebody or being in love with somebody. He is not. That's his that's how he popped out. He never did comprehend love. He didn't know what love was because he didn't understand it, he didn't believe it, and for him love is like what? Like what? What's love? So for him, you know how they say psychologically some people, they're incapable of crying or they're incapable of a particular emotion or incapable of laughing or, you know, whatever they have. It's actually a scientifically, medically proven kind of a whatever. For him it's like that. There's no concept of love. There's no understanding of love, even as a child. He's like, what? So for him, he never was, never has been, never would have loved Ghislaine Maxwell like the way she says that. For him, Ghislaine Maxwell is just somebody to hang on to, because for him, the only way he could do all of this was under the pretext of, or rather projecting an image that, oh, I also have a relationship, I also have girlfriends. It was almost like, for him it was like stupid. There was a part, he struggled with it. They said, I don't need, he struggled with it. He said, he's like, I don't need to put on that pretense. I mean, I don't need to pretend to anybody, this is who I am. There are a lot of people who go through life without having girlfriends and boyfriends, but oh shit, whatever, fine. Oops, sorry, bad word. Oh poop, whatever, fine. I'm going to just pretend like I have a girlfriend. So he really didn't want to kind of put on this image like, oh, I have a girlfriend or I'm dating so-and-so, because he's like, whatever. But then, okay, fine, if it's going to, well, okay, fine. So that was his approach to Ghislaine Maxwell and anybody else he might have dated. I don't think he did. But somewhere in her twisted mind, she was like, oh, he loves me. No, girl, you knew he never loved you. You knew he didn't give a flying fiddlestick to you. Okay, for you too, it was a power thing. For you too, it was a power thing. For you, it was like, oh, and now I'm really running around. See, after all the years she was under her father's shadow or in her father's shadow and he passed or whatever, finally she felt empowered by saying, now I am independently in that group of that powerful man, and that in her mind kind of made her feel like empowered. So she was there for those reasons. Ghislaine Maxwell, more than Jeffrey Epstein, is the bigger sinner over here. Let me tell you this. If Ghislaine Maxwell were to be born a man, okay, she would have been the most prolific sex offender modern mankind has ever known. I am not kidding you. That is Ghislaine Maxwell. all this thing about, oh, poor little girl, she had a very sheltered life and her father was like this, and apparently her father was wealthy, her mother was wealthy, who gives a flip? But all that is bullcrap. If she were born a male, okay, she would have been the most prolific sex offender, child molester mankind has ever seen. For her, she was also living out that dream through her association with this idiot, Epstein. So please don't come at me and say, oh, poor Ghislaine Maxwell, she was a victim to. You come and say that to my face. I'm not a violent person, but it's going to be very hard for me not to smack you. Because it's like, stop talking and go away. Like, anybody who says she was a victim to really needs to have their head checked. Please. Like, don't. She is not a victim. Okay, at all. So we have the Ten of Cups, the Hermit card. Let me show, did I show you the cards even? I don't know if I did or not, because you know me, once I start gabbing, right? Okay, so let's talk about this. So we have the Ten of Cups, the Hermit card, the Death card, the Three of Pentacles, and the Knave of Cups. So with the Ten of Cups, typically, right, in the 10, it's commitment and total love and support, etc., etc. And the Hermit card is going inwards, researching, trying to figure out this, that, and the other. Then the Death card, of course, it's all about change and rebirth. And then you have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles is teamwork and collaboration and craftsmanship. And then the Knave or Knight of Cups, right? The Knight of Cups is, or the Page of Cups or Knight of Cups. What am I even saying? Hang on 1 second. Am I getting confused myself? No, the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is working, volunteering, coming forth, breathing new energy into the situation, bringing new life into the situation. That was her role in this net, in this business, in this enterprise. She to a very, very large extent felt almost free when she joined up with Jeffrey Epstein and got into the game that he was playing and got involved in his business. It was almost uplifting for her. She felt, finally, I'm able to do what I'm able to do. Like for her, I'm telling you, y'all, for her it was very freeing for her. She's like, yeah, now I can do it. Like, even though I'm a woman, I get to enjoy all of this and I get to do it under the pretext. And, you know, for her, it's like, anyhow. Then she maintained books. She has also maintained records outside of what Epstein had maintained. So she has her own dirty black diaries or little black books or whatever you call that. And she has... Ghislaine Maxwell has consistently passed on information to somebody else. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second and I'm going to talk about, you know, how people are saying, oh, there's the Mossad conspiracy connection, there's some Israel group connection, Freemasons connection. Look, we cannot spin a theory we cannot attribute everything to be like a conspiracy theory. Conspiracies happen, people have theories, it is what it is, but I'm not going to say it's Israeli connected, is this connected, is that connected. Look, I'm telling you right now, smart businessman Jeffrey Epstein, he realized there was a need, he supplied, supply and demand. And he also created very good marketing. He also created a market so that there would be a constant need for it and a constant supply. He made his money. Really. And it so happened to be with top people, not just in America or across the pond or around the universe. All those other people have kind of fallen off because they are not in the limelight as much as United States or England is. But if you really draw the dragnet in, you'd be surprised at the kind of people who are in there. You'd be really surprised. All those people were smart enough to say, hey, you know, we'll pay you this, and just eliminate it and delete information and be done with it. But you know who has not deleted information? Ghislaine Maxwell. One more thing I'm going to tell you, Jeffrey Epstein was very smart. I'll tell you why. There are a couple of people who paid him so much, right, in cash and kind and whatever and favors, that he said, okay, fine, I will delete the dirt on you, and he actually did, because those are the people who could have taken him down then and there. And Jeffrey Epstein was smart enough to see that and realize that he genuinely deleted all the proof on those individuals. That's why those individuals are not showing up in this dragnet. But you know who has all of that information? Ghislaine Maxwell. She better watch her back, because she's going to be bumped off as well. She is. No jokes, she is. I'm surprised she was living in hiding and she was able to get away with it for so long, but I'm really surprised she's still alive. But she'll be bumped off. She's like 2 pence, nothing. Anywho, so she has maintained records consistently. She has maintained records. She's passed on information to somebody else, and here's who she's passed on information to. She has passed on, her confidant is another female. I'm telling you that, another female. And then you have the death card, and the death card, as we see, is change and rebirth, etc., etc. And the Three of Pentacles is like, craftsmanship and this and that, etc. And then you have the Knave of Chalices. So she has passed on this information to her confidant, who is another female. I don't know if she's related or a friend. She has definitely passed on some information. And that confidant, who's a female, okay, is all about like, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to keep quiet. I'm going to bring it out and spit it out into the news when the time is right. So, when this thing is going to blow up? When Ghislaine Maxwell kicks the bucket, or they're going to kick her bucket for her. That's when the information is going to come out into the news as to how many people really are, because here's what's going to happen. The lady, Ghislaine Maxwell's confidant, that lady, she knows her life is also threatened, and she knows that somewhere along the line she's going to pop up in the radar, but she's going to do everything she can to set the ball rolling. She knows she's also collateral damage, but she's also got money, right? Settlements, whatever. She's going to do whatever she's going to do, and then she's going to sit back and say, okay, fine, if I'm going to kick the bucket, if they're going to kick my bucket too, well, that's where they are at. Money. Whether Clinton's involved, whether Trump's involved, whether, what's his face's name, Microsoft guy, whatever his face's name, was he involved? Was this guy involved? Was that guy involved? Karamba. There are a lot of people who are involved, y'all. There are a lot of billionaires in the world who are not so much in the spotlight as Bezos and Musk and whoever else. There are a lot of billionaires who like to fly under the radar. There's a reason why they want to fly under the radar, Not everybody wants to be like, what the hell's going on here? Well, it is what it is, so I don't know how that got here. This one card from a completely different deck got mixed up in this deck. I don't know why, so I'm going to take it because there's a reason why it's here. I keep my decks separately. Yeah, these are all the same. Okay, let me show you the cards. How the heck did that card get in here? Okay. Okay, let's take it from the top. So we have the Ace of Cups, then we have the Tower card, we have the Temperance, then we have Two of Wands, okay? And then we have the Knight of Wands, and then we have the Queen of Swords. Oh, baby, baby, baby. All right, let's go. So with the Ace of Cups, they're definitely, every single book that they possibly can, they're going to throw at them. There is an all-seeing eye. There is somebody who is watching and observing. Y'all, this person is so not in the limelight, so not under the radar. This person is the most, least expected person to be watching. But this person is very, very powerful and is watching everything. At the right time, that individual is going to step forward in this case. Then you have the Tower card. The Tower card, as we all know, right? It's like things coming to an end, right? Is a dissolution of a partnership, dismantling of things, and is ruled by Mars. It's going to come down so hard. And then you have the Temperance card. And the Temperance calls for, the Sagittarius card, it calls for balancing, mixing of elements. But since the Temperance is coming after the Tower card, something is going to help with the dismantling of this whole blow up, that is going to kind of temper it a little bit, because then whoever is waiting for results and is waiting to make a choice is going to have an opportunity to take action and go forth. And then you have the Queen of Swords. So what do I mean by this? This individual who's watching has an opportunity to bring everything crumbling down, but for whatever reason, this individual is going to say, you know what, I am going to measure everything. I am not going to rush into it. I'm going to temper my approach to it because I am still waiting for something. I still need to make a choice. I need to make a decision, because one strike and done. He wants to be one and done. He's like one and done. He doesn't want to go back and forth. And then you have the Queen of Swords energy, and the Queen of Swords energy is being self-sufficient, being honest. This person is a very stand-up person, y'all. He is going to wait for the right time. He will have an opportunity to bring down the entire enterprise, but he will not, because he's like, I want to just one and done, like one swipe. So he's going to measure himself, wait for the right opportunity, weigh the pros and cons, and the right opportunity. He's also waiting for something else. He's waiting to make a decision about something else, and he's going to go and boom. And heads are going to roll, baby. Heads are going to roll. Ghislaine Maxwell is going to go. There are going to be two other people are going to pass. Ghislaine and three other people. So Ghislaine and two other individuals are going to pass pretty soon. So pretty soon, baby, pretty soon. So give me 1 second. I put that card back. I don't know how that card got into this, but there must have been a reason. So yeah, sometimes it happens. Let me check this. This whole thing about, what's his face's name? Epstein's brother getting another doctor who's a pretty prominent fellow to do the autopsy, and the doctor came out and proved, and he said that yes, this is not a suicide, this is definitely a murder. And this individual who is I don't even want to say her name, but whatever, Gail, who's on that Daily Show, Today Show, whatever, she interviewed him, and she's actually asking which is like, dude, like, you're a journalist, really? Seriously? She's like, well, are you sure that, go watch that interview, something to the effect of, not verbatim, but something to the effect of, are you sure you have what she was trying to insinuate was that the doctor and Epstein's brother had hidden agenda and wanted to make this look like a murder, not a suicide. In other words, she was questioning the doctor's principles and ethics, and saying the doctor came out with this particular verdict because he had something to gain by it. And I'm like, how disrespectful and rude. First and foremost, you know who that doctor is? Like, he's got like gazillion years of experience. And he kept his cool. I mean, hats off to him. He's like, look. And she's like, well, the coroner said that this and happened, and the coroner has done so many cases and all. And the doctor looked at her and he goes, you could see the exasperation on his face, like, really stupid, you're asking me stupid questions? And he's like, well, that may have been that doctor's experiences, but in my experience, as a autopsy whatever, I have never come across any case of suicide where all these bones are broken. Maybe that doctor's experience has been that every single case that he has had of suicide, all those bones are broken. There is no such thing as, I've seen the exact cases as him, or something to that effect. And I was looking at Gail and I was like, oh my God, woman, for God's sake, like, how do you end up being a journalist? It's like, even if you ask questions, don't ask. I'm sorry, y'all. Maybe I'm just old and senile and ornery and whatever, but. So there's no reason for the doctor to come out and say that, hey, this is a murder, not a suicide, and not gay. Because when you look, and this is based off the information the state has released to the public, the autopsy results. So like I said, remember what really is in the autopsy result as opposed to what is released. There, a lot of stuff gets kind of huddled and hidden and camouflaged and stuff like that, and magic ink and invisible ink and all, because of the high profile people who are involved in this. So based on what they gave him, he is going off of that and he's saying this is what it is. He has not actually looked at Jeffrey Epstein's body and he did not actually physically do the autopsy. So what are you going after him for, ding dong, or ding dang, right? So listen to me, right? Listen to me, all right. I don't know if I want to pull any more cards. Ooh, all right, so this is how I got these. Okay, so let's take it from the top. What do we have? We have 8, and then we have the King of Cups, and then we have a thing. So 8, what is 8, right? 8 here is strength. It's a Leo card. It's like use your head, not your heart, but it's in the reverse. And then we have the King of Cups. And what is a King of Cups? Okay, the King of Cups is being supportive, not telepathic, having empathy, having tolerance. That's also in the reverse. And then you have the World card, which is completion, success, etc., etc. So I'm going to say that the people who, remember I said that one person who was watching everything, straight up, stand up person, that individual is very smart, thinking with his head, not his heart. Okay, he has clarity and he is definitely going to be able to resolve this. But remember I saw the Tower card and I said he could bring it all the way down right away, but then he had the Temperance card and the Temperance was like, I'm going to be balanced. So he at that last minute is not going to go all out. He's going to use his heart to a little bit and say, okay, this is a bit emotional. I have to be careful with the decisions I'm making right now because I wanted it to be one and done. Okay, and that's when he's going to tie up his emotions and he's going to be like, no, I'm going to detach myself emotionally and I'm going to make this comes to completion and this whole thing is going to be resolved. I'm talking about Jeffrey Epstein, okay? Epstein was not, it wasn't a suicide, it's a murder. And what's her face's name? Ghislaine Maxwell is next and 2 other people are going to go with her. So I'm going to stop, y'all, okay? I'm just going to stop. And what we're going to do is, I am, of course, take off my glasses. This is going to be titled as Prince Andrew. Again, I apologize, y'all, because right in the beginning I kept saying Prince Philip. I don't know why I felt, I messed up and then I corrected myself. But I know when times like that happen, certain energies are pushing through and they want to say something. So I told you what Prince Philip's interactions with Randy Andy was. So this thing is going to be titled Andrew, Jeffrey, and Ghislaine. Okay, or how about I just title it The 3 Musketeers, just to have fun, right? Okay, so thank you so very much, y'all. I hope y'all watched the video. Please leave your comments. I always appreciate the feedback, and that's what this is all about, right? Bringing awareness to the public. We're not sheeple, we are all blessed with intelligence. We can make our own informed, educated decisions. We don't have to blindly follow what anybody says. You don't have to blindly agree with everything I say. You don't have to agree with everything I say or anything I say. It's a free world, right? So these are my observations, my opinions. Please do your own research, do your own due diligence and form your own opinions. Okay, thank you guys and see you in the next video. Bye.